Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Well, I want to take just a few minutes this evening to share with you my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection. This release came out just a few days ago as of the time that I'm recording this video, and also as of the time I'm recording this video, I am in Central Florida. We're on spring break. So just got back from the theme park. We went to Disney Hollywood Studios earlier today, and we were only able to ride a few of the rides, unfortunately. We weren't able to check out Galaxy Edge, which was the big attraction we were going there for today, but unfortunately the weather kind of got in the way. We had a huge rainstorm and thunderstorm that swept through the area here in Orlando today. So unfortunately, it kind of washed out a lot of our plans at Hollywood Studios. But we were able to get some of the rides in. We did get to see Mickey, or do the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway ride, which is quite spectacular, I must say. I'm not sure if that's the best ride there. Again, we didn't see everything, but that ride is really pretty awesome. So I highly recommend that. If you go to Disney Hollywood Studios, definitely check out Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Highly recommended. But I also have another high recommendation for you, and that is this Criterion Collection Edition release. I'm actually spoiling my review from the very beginning, but it's spring break. This is the spring break edition of this review of Love, Jones. This is the 1997 film directed by Theodore Witcher, and this is a nice film. I mean, this is a really wonderful, beautifully atmospheric, moody film. And it is a wonderful romance drama that is set in the backdrop of Chicago. You've got two young lovers, so to speak, played by Nia Long, who plays Nina Mosley. She is a photographer, career-driven, really going after trying to take her photography business and career to the next level. She ends up meeting this young man, played by Larenz Tate, fresh off of his role playing the legendary role of O-Dog in Menace to Society. A few years later, he hooks up with this first-time director, Theodore Witcher, to star in this film, Love, Jones, playing Darius Lovehall. And Darius Lovehall is a poet in this film. He's in Chicago. He goes into these Chicago nightclubs and he recites his poems and the lyrics or the prose of his poems. And they're all part of the works he's putting together as he's trying to write a novel. So he's working on a novel, working on his writing career. She's working on her career as a photographer. And they meet in a club and they begin to get to know one another. And the central question of this romance drama, Love, Jones, is, are we really in love? Is this really true love? Is this lasting love that is gonna, be meaningful and substantive and last for a lifetime? Or are we just kicking it? Is this just one night stand? We're just kicking it for a while and we're gonna move on to bigger and better things in our lives. So is this true love, or is it just a thing for a season? So that's a big piece of what this story, Love, Jones, is about. And it is a great story. I really enjoyed this film, and I enjoyed because you see so many different romance films, but I think this film it sort of takes its own different angle to it. And I love the moody atmosphere, which the music plays a huge part of. So I think the music is a big part of this film. So let me just back up for a second. If you want to break down this film's best parts, it comes down to the lead roles themselves. So Nia Long as Nina Mosley and Larenz Tate as Darius Lovehall nailed it in their roles in this film. They play off each other perfectly in this film in terms of their relationship as they're working through that central question of, is this going to be a relationship that lasts or not? And the ups and downs that they go through in their relationship. So they are fantastic in the lead roles, but then the supporting characters do an amazing job as well. So you've got Isaiah Washington, he plays Savon. He's one of the best friends of Darius. So he's there giving him advice along the way. You've got Lisa Nicole Carson playing Josie. She's Nina's I think, best friend in this film. She's giving her advice, and they're sort of bouncing ideas off each other and sharing, girl stories with one another. And then you got Bill Bellamy playing a really funny role in this film. He plays Wood. He is like a player. He's a ladies' man. He's a character that's sort of doing his own thing and, putting his own 2 cents in, every now and then, based on what's going on in the other characters' lives, and just sort of doing his own thing, like I said. So it's really fascinating seeing him. But the other major character of Love Jones that cannot be underestimated is, or that should not be overlooked, is the music. The music is a huge part of this film, and it's a huge part of what sets the mood of this story. Again, they're in nightclubs, and you're hearing this nice jazz music, R&B type music, soul music playing, and they mix between different artists. So you're hearing music from artists such as Maxwell and Cassandra Wilson, all the way up to the end when the credits roll, and you're hearing this wonderful, wonderful song from Lauryn Hill. And it's just, the music is just absolutely phenomenal, and it does a great, great job of setting the mood of this story. And music has played a great role in a lot of Black films such as this, especially in this period of the 90s. And I really like how the supplements do a good job of really talking about that. So that's a big part of the supplements that you'll definitely want to give a listen to, because it gives some really nice history of these films from the 90s. So overall, I just absolutely love Love Jones. It is just a fantastic film. The supporting cast is great. The music is fantastic. This is, of course, taking place in the backdrop of Chicago. You're in nightclubs. They're in each other's homes, kicking it, hanging out. Of course, Nina Mosley and Darius Lovehall, they're in each other's apartments. So you see where each of them lives, and you get to see them acting out in these different spaces and really seeing their personalities come to life. And that's just such a wonderful part of this film. It's just how real and how genuine these characters felt. So I really enjoyed this film. So I can't say enough good things about it. This is a really, really nice film. It sort of reminds me of Love and Basketball, the edition that came out last year. But what I love about this is that it's so different. I mean, I love Love and Basketball. That was absolutely a phenomenal film. That starred Omar Epps and Sana Lathan. Wonderful film. But this film is just in a completely different direction. It does its own thing. It's also a romance story, but it's totally different. It has its own tone, its own setting, its own vibe, and I totally dig it. And Love Jones comes highly recommended just based on the film itself. It's really, really good. As far as the AV presentation, I can just make this short and sweet. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful looking picture. If you read on the back here, it says this is a new 4K digital restoration supervised by director Theodore Witcher. And you got a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So in a nutshell, I will say that this picture looked very clean. I mean, this is a beautiful restoration. It's a 4K scan of the original camera negative 35 millimeter. And it looks so good. I mean, they did a beautiful job cleaning up this film. The film looks so clean. I mean, the grain is just very beautifully resolved. It's just a clean, beautiful image that is probably as good of a Blu-ray, standard Blu-ray that I have seen in a long time. I was very impressed with the Love and Basketball restoration from last year. I think I may be even more impressed with this Love Jones restoration. That is how good this is. I was blown away by Love and Basketball, and I think I like this transfer even better of Love Jones. It is that good. It looks amazing. The 5.1 audio is also top notch, so double thumbs up on that. So from an AV standpoint, you're in very good hands with this Blu-ray. I can only imagine how this would have looked if this was a Criterion 4K Ultra HD edition, but as it stands, this Blu-ray is phenomenal. And as far as the special features, this is not a loaded edition. It's not, brimming with a lot of special features, but there are some features on here that I think make this a very complete edition. Starting off with a commentary with the director, Theodore Witcher, which is great to have an audio commentary on this disc. You also have an interview with Raquel Gates and Theodore Witcher, which is excellent because they talk a lot about the history of these types of films during this period in the 90s, and really talks about the role that Love Jones has in the place of, a lot of these Black films from the 1990s. So really enjoyed that. Raquel Gates is great. I've seen her on other features from Criterion, and this was a great interview between her and Theodore Witcher. You also have a new interview, and this is a good one as well, a new interview with music scholars Mark Anthony Neal and Shauna L. Redmond on the soundtrack, which again, the music plays a big role in this film, and they do a great job talking about and breaking down the type of music that you hear on this edition from Criterion and how it really sets the mood and tone of this film, and really how the music in this film, in this Black film, compares to the music in some of the other films that came out around that same time. So that is a great discussion between the two of them. And then you have a panel discussion, a panel discussion that had Theodore Witcher in there. You had Nia Long, Larenz Tate, other cast members in there, and they're, a panel, and they're talking about their experiences making the film. Of course, a very interesting aspect of it is hearing Theodore Witcher recount his experiences getting to the point of being able to make this film. Of course, this was his feature debut. It was his first film. And so he talked a lot about the process of getting these actors lined up and being a first-time director, quite frankly, getting these actors to trust him. You have Larenz Tate coming off of his great work on Menace to Society. And now, I'm being asked to work with this new director, Theodore Witcher. Who is this guy? So Theodore Witcher talks about that. He talks about being a new director and the challenges of that, and beginning to learn the craft and how he was going to put this film together. And it was great to hear from Nia Long and Larenz Tate talk about their experiences. And so that was a great panel. So I think the features on here, these interviews and that panel discussion, make for a very, very nice set of features. Of course, on the inside of this, this is the cover. I'm not sure how well this is showing in this lighting here, but I'll do my best. But overall, I'm very pleased with what you have inside here. Of course, I'm going to show you the disc art of Love Jones. This is the disc art that you see here on the disc. Looks very nice. And then on the inside, you have Sanctuary, which is one of the locations in the film. Very nice. This is the front and the back that you see here. So that is nice. And then you get on here, inside here, you have an excellent essay from Danielle Amir Jackson called Sweet Home Chicago. Sweet Home Chicago. And this is an excellent essay. And of course, you have some nice pictures on the inside and on the back there. And of course, Nina Mosley, Nia Long's character in this film, is a photographer. So you see some of these photos here from her work, supposedly. So that's very good. And those pictures appear on the disc on the disc opening menu, which I thought was fantastic. Fantastic animated sequence on the disc menu when you put the disc in the player that shows these wonderful black and white photographs of these people on the streets of Chicago. And that's part of Nina Mosley's character in this film. So overall, this is highly recommended from the Criterion Collection. Great edition of a great film from a first-time director, and I believe his only director credit. And he did an amazing job. And Nia Long is always wonderful. She was wonderful in this. Larenz Tate brought his A game, and that supporting cast was absolutely fantastic. And it really helped to set the mood of this amazing film with that fantastic music. Love Jones is highly recommended in the Criterion Collection. Again, comes in at spine 1117. Definitely check this one out. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Love Jones, and if so, what you think about this title. And let me know what you think about these actors in terms of Nia Long and Larenz Tate. What are your favorite films starring these actors? Let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.